everybody, it is me, Hadley May, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are here on a happy Monday, just going through my August TBR. Here are all the books that I hope to be able to read throughout the month of August. It is a warm summer's month, and I do tend to get my best reading done in the summer or in January. So because it is summer currently, we have got a very good chance of being able to read a lot of these books. I also wanted to put a large amount on this list, not because I feel like I am specifically going to read every single book on this list, but to give myself more of an option and like ability to branch out this month, because last month I started reading off of my TBR and trying to get a few more, like I was trying to search for a book that made me want to gush, and I'm also trying to do that this month. I want a book that makes me just want to stay up all night and read it. I want a book that makes me think about it all the time, so that is what I am searching for. I actually have so freaking many this month. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because there is a book on my Kindle, and I have already actually fully read one, because the date that I'm currently reading this is the 6th. Well, the date that I'm currently filming this is the 6th, and I fully read one book and I'm halfway through another. So without further ado, we will talk about those two books that I have already started reading or have read, and then we will go in to do more. So the first book that I wanted to read in the month of August and have currently succeeded is Wretched by Emily McIntyre. I wanted to continue reading the Never After series because I have heard so much about this book series. It has been on my TBR for literally years, and there are really nice elements about book 1 and book 2 that I was really enjoying, but overall those books were like 1 stars. However, I do believe that if you have an author and you read their series, they do tend to get better. And in book 1, I hated a specific thing about that book, and it was that they had no connection and it was all just lust. And in book 2, that was fixed, but the book was slightly too dark for me. Now this book, I wanted to know, is it going to be perfect? It follows Evelina Westerly, who is the mastermind behind a drug empire that she works with her father to build, and then her romantic interest is Nicholas, I don't know what his surname is, Woodsworth, and he is the DEA agent searching for this drug mastermind, and he goes undercover and everything. And I want to talk about it as like a book I have already read. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that this was a book that I wanted to read in August and I have succeeded already. So I'm really happy about this. And I was pleasantly surprised. Then the second book that I wanted to read and have started reading is Small Pleasures by Claire Chambers. Now this was a book that was on my TBR last month. I wanted to read this because I didn't want to only be reading romance throughout the month. Now, I don't actually know, it is fiction, but I don't know if it's a romance book or if you would be able to say that this is a romance book or like a literary fiction. Like, I don't actually know what you would say this is, because there is like romantic anguish on the back. I don't know, I'm getting some romantic vibes, but the story is not entirely circulated and centered around romance. It's centered around the main character, Jean, who is an investigative journalist on a local paper, who is trapped with her mum, just looking after her every single day, and her life is a bore until one day she gets sent a letter claiming that this woman claiming that she had a virgin birth, and she goes and investigates this. Now I am literally halfway through, yeah, almost exactly. I think I've read a little bit over halfway. I'm really enjoying this book currently. I definitely am seeing like a bit of like toxicity in it, which I'm actually really enjoying, because a lot of authors are a bit afraid to step over that line. And so I like to see things in a book, like I like I really like to read about affairs. I really like to read about cheating. I really like to read about things in books that would never actually be in my own life. And I think that might be why I enjoyed this book so much, because Evelina Westerly is a goth. I'm very clearly not a goth, and I'm also not a drug maker. What would that be called? Supplier? That's what they call her. But this is really, really good, and I've been reading it basically all day. I was on page 76 this morning and I'm on page 180 now. So I do think if I continue with the way I am, I'm going to finish this book today, which is just amazing, and I'm really enjoying it. I do really like the clementines on here now that I've realised what they stand for. Interesting. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying the fact that it's set in 1957, so it's a different world, and it's kind of encouraging me not to be on my phone as much throughout the day, because this woman, she's not obviously reaching for her phone because her phone doesn't exist. So I am really enjoying this. Okay, so now we do have one more book that I didn't intend to start, and I don't actually have the physical copy. However, I was at work and I was really, really, really bored. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to download a book on my phone, and I wanted to read a Why Choose. So I have started Poison Ivy by Stephanie Holmes. This is what the cover looks like. If I do finish this, I will buy the actual book as like a prize, like if I finish it and I enjoy it. It follows this girl, I've forgotten her name, Fergie, who she's blind. I didn't know she was blind at first. I didn't actually read the blurb. I just typed in like Why Choose on Google, and this is what came up. And her dad is like getting married to this woman, so she moves into his house. This is where I'm currently at. And then she goes into her new bedroom and her stepbrother comes and screws her. I'm literally 6% into the book. So I actually don't know too much. I don't know literally anything. But that's fine. I am quite enjoying it. I might actually read the blurb about the book. I'll do anything to be theirs. I'll do anything to get in. I'll even become theirs. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, but I am enjoying it so far. I read it when I'm working, or I read it in between, like when I'm like have a book that I'm reading but I'm not completely into it yet. It's just a very quick read and I am enjoying it a little bit. So that is a book that I'm reading. I don't know why I picked it up, but like loads of these books aren't on Kindle Unlimited, so you need a book that is on Kindle Unlimited for when you are like in the middle of something and you just need to pick up something. So this is the book, Poison Ivy by Stephanie Holmes. It looks good and I am excited to maybe one day buy it. Anyway, so now I have a bunch of books here. I'm trying to mix and match with a bunch of genres, because I was looking at my Fable and it said that I read like predominantly romance, which I'm not surprised about, and I really do enjoy romance. However, there has not been so many romances this year that have made me literally go, oh my god, I love this book, it was incredible. And I realize also when I'm reading romance back to back to back to back, I tend to not enjoy it as much because it doesn't feel like new. I'm like, oh, this person is just falling in love and I'm not loving it as much. So I do have a couple romances, 3, 2 thrillers, a fantasy, and like an old book that I'm reading on my other sites. So I'm going to take you through the romance and explain to you why I chose these 3 romance specifically. So number 1 is Splendid by Julia Quinn, and it is the Blynden family. Now I chose this book specifically for 2 reasons actually. Number 1, because it is a romance set in another era, so it is a historical romance, and it is a like further on from the Bridgerton series. So I'm trying to read the Bridgerton series as the seasons come out, but I actually really do enjoy the author's work. I do really enjoy it, and it sets me back into a different time. There are different themes and obstacles the couples have to overcome to get into their relationships that don't mean anything to us now. So I'm really going to enjoy this, I think, and I at least hope. And it is the first in the series of the Blynden family. I think there's 4 of them, but I'm actually not sure. And I specifically picked this one up because my boyfriend bought this for my birthday, and he keeps on going, oh, I'm not buying any books until you read the ones that I bought you. And he's bought me a lot of books, so I need to read this as well. And I feel really bad for not really reading any of the books that he bought me on my birthday. So I'm really going to try and read this. Yeah. I think it will be good. I think it will be good. I think there is another book on here that, oh, there's literally not another book on here that he bought me. Oh, Wretched he bought me. He bought me Wretched. I'm like trying to look at this. I think I have read most of the books he bought me, so I think I'm being dramatic. He definitely bought me these 3. He definitely bought me these 2, and these 4, and these 3, and those ones over there. I'm working through this, and then once I've finished Emily McIntyre's Cross series, I think I'm going to start Scythe and Blackthorn, the series which he bought me. Because I don't want to read too many series at the same time. Ignore the fact that I am going to be starting another romance series, but ignore that. And then I might hop into one of these over here, but I don't know. Trying to just read and like juggle everything. Anyway, the next one I'm reading is a new series. Now, be quiet. Basically, I've been hearing all over the web that this woman, Catherine Cowles, so I'm reading Fragile Sanctuary. Catherine Cowles writes a really sexy small town romance, but she injects it with mystery, intrigue, thriller, all of that. And I really want that, and that is something that I have been looking for ever since I stopped reading It's Like Things We Never Got Over, because that book, the last one, they all had like a slight mystery element to it, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm really hoping that this is the exact way that I want to like feel. I'm hoping that this makes me want to read. I'm hoping that the amount of romance is equal to the amount of mystery, and so that I savor the romance when I come to it. I hope that it makes me feel the way I feel when I'm reading like a fantasy novel and suddenly the 2 main characters kiss, because then you're sitting there and you're like, oh my god, I literally have been waiting for this. I'm really hoping that makes me feel that way. The scowl should have been my first sign to stay away from Anson Hunt. The sexy smirk and the fact that he's my brother's best friend 2 and 3. Anson is my opposite in every way, grumpy, rude, and loves his solitude. It doesn't matter how many times I try to kill him with kindness, the man simply won't crack, until he sees me shatter. When my world falls apart, Anson catches me, and as a so-called accident puts my life in danger, he steps in to keep me safe. But Anson has secrets with a price, and when they're revealed, neither of us will remain unscathed. So this is just interesting, I think, like, what is the accident that happened? I know that the main character is, no, not the main character, the author is well known for putting murder into her romance book, so I'm really excited to read this. This might actually be one of my next reads. Like, I'm really excited to read this. It's literally a swoony small town romance that will set your heart racing, so I'm really excited for that. Okay, and the last romance book that I do have on my TBR this month is actually a tiny little one by Ali Hazelwood, who can always make me race through a book, but because it's so small, maybe I won't race through it, because for some reason when I'm reading like tiny little books, they take me months to read for no reason. Oh, there's artwork inside. Let me open it. Ooh. Romantic. But basically, I've read every single Ali Hazel book ever she has ever released. I've read all the novellas, and then I haven't read this one. I mean, I haven't read the ones on ebook, which is so silly of me. But every book that she has physically released, I have read. And then I heard about this book, and I thought, oh my god, there's an Ali Hazel book that I haven't read. How had I missed this? And I was super duper confused. And then I realised I think it was only released on ebook at first. So I'm not as mad about that. Oh yeah, it was released as an audiobook, only as an audiobook, and then released as a physical book. So I was really mad at myself for not reading this. I've actually not heard of Ali Hazelwood releasing a new book since like October last year when she released Mate, so I am heavily like waiting for her next book, and so I'm kind of glad that this one has now become published and we're allowed to read it and stuff, because I have been waiting for her to release a new book for ages. It follows Viola Bolan, who has a chance of a lifetime to design a video game based on her all-time favourite book series. The only problem, her co-lead is Jesse fucking Andrews, aka her arch nemesis. Jesse has made it abundantly clear over the years that he wants nothing to do with her, and Viola has no idea why. When their bosses insist that a wintry retreat is the perfect team-building exercise, Viola can't think of anything worse. Being freezing cold in a remote mountain lodge, knowing Jesse is right next door, no thank you. But as the snow piles on, Viola discovers there's more to Jesse than she knew, and heat builds in more ways than one. So I am really excited to read this. I mean, there is only one Ali Hazelwood book that I don't like, and I really did enjoy her novellas. They're just quick, spicy, to the point. My favourite one probably would be the one in the elevator. I don't remember what that one's called, but I am really excited to read this, especially because I could probably just read this, probably, I'm not gonna lie, in one sitting, and it's meant to be getting to like 30 degrees over the weekend, so maybe I'll read this out on the field or something. This book is Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu, and this is actually a reread because I heard of this book officially when I was at a book club and someone was talking about this dark sapphic romance, which means dark lesbian romance, that was released years and years before Dracula, by 26 years, released 26 years. And the girls in the group were talking about this romance book that was written around lesbians and surrounding vampires, and how we literally have forgotten history. Like, we've not remembered it at all. History does not really talk about it. We talk about Dracula. There are films and films and films talking about Dracula, but we don't talk about Carmilla. So I wanted to read this, and then I read it and I actually really loved it and enjoyed it. And I wanted to talk about it to other people, but as I said, not many people talk about it, not many people read it. I mean, it definitely has been read. It's a classic, so don't take me saying this as me being like, I'm the only one who reads classics. Definitely not. Definitely would not be the case of me saying it, but I am saying that Dracula is more popular. So what I've been doing over on my Spicy site is every Monday I release a video of me reading an excerpt of this book, and I post it, and then we can talk about the book in the comments, and it just lets other people get to know the book, and I am really enjoying it. It basically is like a little mystery, and I don't want to go too far into detail in case anyone on my site is watching. I did read the blurb over on my Instagram, but I will really definitely be continuing reading this throughout the month. I probably won't finish it this month, but it's a book that I will be reading throughout the month. Or maybe I'll just get like on crack and something and film like 100 videos. I don't know, but I did want to bring that one up because I'm reading it at the end of the day. I'm also reading Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't know how to ever say his name. Basically, I'm in a tiny little book club with my BF where I basically read him a page. It's way more than a page, like 10 pages of a book a night. Every book is chosen, like one's me, one's him, one's me, one's him. So my current book is The Silent Patient. I chose that because I absolutely loved that book whilst reading it, and I wanted to know if he could figure out what the twist was. He has figured out what the twist was, but he hasn't fully figured out what it was, but he does know one of the major twists. We're like 40 pages from the ending, and I was actually fuming when he figured out, but I didn't tell him when he was right. I was like, oh, that's so interesting that you think that. But then I think he's gonna pick June after we finish that, so that's gonna be a long ass book for me to read out loud, or my throat is gonna hurt. But that is also a book that I'm reading this month, and will most definitely be finished with it tonight or tomorrow because I'm 40 pages out from the ending. So now we have these 3 books, which are most definitely not romance. This one is like a fantasy romance, a romantasy if you will, and then these 2 are thrillers. So we are going to talk about this one, The Throne of Broken Gods. Now I think I may have brought this up in another video or such, because I have read the Book of Azrael. I have read that book. I really didn't like it. I did not like it. I liked like a lot of the parts of the book, but this gives like grade school, middle school romance. I don't know why I explained it like that. Primary school romance, secondary school romance, while holding hands, kissing each other, falling in love so immediately. That is what the first one was, and I think the author, I don't know what crack she's on this much, but she's world building, I guess. So I do want to read this because everyone and their mother a few years ago was recommending the Book of Azrael like it was the best thing in the entire fucking world. And so now I'm like, well, I want to read this and I want to feel the crack that you guys have been smoking. Like, I want to know what's going on. So I have actually started this. I tend to read it after a bath for some reason. I've never actually normally been this way, guys, by the way, with reading, because normally I'm like a one book gal. Like, I will normally be like, I'm reading this book. I have never really been able to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm reading like 6 books at the same time. I don't know what's going on with me. I just know that sometimes I feel like I can steadily go through a chapter of this book and not want to pull my own hair out. I like have read to page 30, which I just don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. And then I don't know why I'm reading like Carmilla and not another book. I don't know why I'm reading the book on Kindle Unlimited and not this book. I don't know, but I do know that I'll probably read a couple more chapters of this month. I probably won't finish it because that's such a massive commitment for a book that I might not even like. It's like 1,000 pages. It's like 700 pages for a book I don't know if I'm gonna like. So I'm just reading it a little bit. I'm not gonna be funny. I'm not gonna probably finish it this month. I'm probably gonna read like a little bit. And then I reckon what's gonna happen is I'll be playing Minecraft or sewing, crocheting, doing a puzzle. I'll probably listen to most of this book. I will also probably listen to this on a plane when I'm going to Paris in October. This book will probably be my in-between book when I don't want to start a new book but I want to read. But I thought I would mention it because I have started reading it. But yeah, it's good currently because the two main characters are not together. But I really don't think I'm going to enjoy them being together. But yeah, and then we got 2 last books. One is, I'm going to talk about Girl Forgotten. So I read Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter. Oh my god, it was one of my favourite thrillers ever. I loved the way she literally destroyed these characters emotionally, and I'm on the search for a book that does the same thing. I say this every single time. I don't know if I've managed to find that book yet. It's very unfortunate. I don't know. I will probably say no. I haven't managed to find a book that has scared me to the point of Pretty Girls yet. But I am trying to. I've got like a bunch of thrillers saved on my phone that I might actually start going through as well. But I picked up another Karin Slaughter book and I'm hoping that it's good. I have read a few other Karin Slaughter books. So they are always good. They're just not always to the point of what they were or what Pretty Girls was. So Girl Forgotten, a teenage girl, Emily Bourne, seems like any other teenager, but she's hiding a terrible secret. The night of prom, Emily is brutally murdered. Ooh. But there are no arrests, no justice. With 40 years, Emily's killer must have gotten away with murder, but now the truth comes out again because they're about to strike. Interesting. So this is interesting. I think I would rather a book that was like, oh, this is like inspired a TV show. All her books inspire TV shows. I really hated the one that we were just driving in a fucking van for ages. Like, I admit it must be really fun to write because sometimes I just imagine myself writing a camper van book where there's this girl just driving throughout the world in a camper van. Like, that sounds really fun to write, but actually reading it was boring. And she's written loads where they're like originally set in 1980s and then now we're in like the present day. The closest I've come to feeling like emotionally like the way I was reading Pretty Girls was reading one of the Will whatever his name is book, and it was like, it was criminal and I did like that. I felt fear running through me, but it was also like long and dry and I really couldn't be asked to read it. Like I had to force myself to read it a little bit. So yeah, sorry about that, but I'm really hoping this one will be good. I'm hoping that I won't feel a bit too uncomfortable because I'm not being funny. If she was murdered 40 years ago, the killer would have most likely been from ages like 14 to 25, yeah, and now 40 years in the future they would have had to at least be 55 to 70, and I just can't imagine that being too scary. Like, yeah, an older person can run after you and chase you with a knife and everything. Yes, it can be scary, but not as scary, and I'm really hoping that she manages. I don't know, maybe ignore me, maybe I'll be like, this is literally terrifying, but 40 years is a long time. Anyway, I'm really excited for this one because this is a thriller that I have been hearing everybody talking about. It's written by a woman. I love books written by women. And it is a story of this man who just goes and kills women on the first date. And I'm really excited because I think this might scare me. I think this might generally scare me. I am trying to build up a reputable list of really good, like, scary, spooky stuff for Halloween, and I will be talking about that at some point. I've got literally 3 books over here. I did think this was potentially a really good one, but I don't think I'm going to read this for Halloween. I think I'm going to read this for now just because I want to break up the other books that I'm reading. Hiccups. But I'm really excited to read this. Megan, Brescia and Sky have just one thing in common. They were all murdered by the same man. He hunted them online, masquerading as an eligible bachelor. Then he played the perfect gentleman, a thick layer of charm and a 1,000-watt smile hiding the fact that his first dates end in shallow graves. He's got away with murder 3 times now. The only thing that could keep him from killing again? The women he murdered. Megan, Brescia and Sky might be dead, but they're not gone. They found each other and they won't rest until they stop him. This sounds really good. This sounds really, really good. So I cannot wait to read this. I bought it last month. It's going straight on my TBR. But I also, so I do want to read this. I also want to say to myself, like, if I want to read any one of these books, I can pick them up. I don't have to sit here and restrain myself. I mean, I don't really think there's any books I'm literally like, please come and pick me up right now. Which is upsetting. I mean, I always want to go for Not Quite Dead Yet, but I'm trying to wait. And The Crimson Moth, and I do want to try these ones, but I want to wait until I finish Crossed and Twisted. These ones I do want to read, so maybe if the Sparrow Falls is really good, I'll pick one of these up. I do want to start making my way through these like flimsy little romances like Infamous, Yours Truly, The True Love Experiment, Julia Quinn's books. Like, I want to make my way through those, but I'm putting a lot on myself for just 1 month of reading, so I need to calm myself down. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope by the end of the month I can have some really good book reviews to give you. I already have like 2 book reviews I can give you with. Basically, I can tell you how I feel about Small Pleasured, and I can definitely tell you how I feel about Wretched because I've already finished it. But hopefully I'll be able to tell you a bit more about these books, and hopefully I would have enjoyed quite a few of them. Hopefully I would have loved one of them or something, I don't know. But yeah, if you think there are any predicted 5 stars, please let me know. I feel like Sparrow Falls or Ask for Andrea could be a 5 stars. I don't know if Small Pleasures is, because I'm getting a little bit bored when I'm reading certain like excerpts, and then like getting excited when I'm reading others, but I don't want to be bored when reading a book. Anyway, I am going to go now, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!